January 6th, 2020, was my fourth day in Congress. I was seated in the House gallery, the balcony above the House floor, watching the speeches about the certification of the presidential election, when a Capitol police officer rushed in and shouted, "The Capitol has been breached. Tear gas has been released in the rotunda. Take out your gas masks and prepare to take cover." Then he shouted to the officers in the gallery, "Lock all the doors to the chamber." Chaos erupted, and soon I heard pounding on the doors behind me. Looking around the gallery, I realized the only place to take cover was in the front row, because the gallery has stadium seating, and the other rows wouldn't provide sufficient cover if there were bullets flying. Then I spotted one of my new colleagues, Jason Crow from Colorado. I knew he had served in the Special Forces in Iraq, and I decided I would follow him, since he would probably know what to do under attack. I had my plan, and I waited, watching the confusion on the House floor below us. I watched while the police shouted instructions and evacuated the people on the House floor. That left about 30 of us alone with 3 Capitol Police in the gallery. We sat quietly, tensely, waiting for instructions. Eventually, one officer told us to run quickly to the other side of the gallery. No one panicked. We moved in an orderly fashion, stepping over the refuse from the gas mask containers and ducking under the chair railings between the seating sections. When we got to the other side, we were told to take cover. I found a spot in the front row of the seats behind the knee wall and lay down flat on the floor. Someone said to take off our member pins, so the insurrectionists couldn't identify us. And that was the first moment that I realized they were after us, the members of Congress. My heart started to pound, and I told myself that it wouldn't help to panic, that I needed to stay calm, and that we would get out of there safely. I told myself this was not the way I was going to die. I reminded myself that I had been in tougher situations, and I thought about the time I was at a meeting in southern Israel when sirens went off warning of incoming rockets coming from Gaza, and we had to run and take cover in a bomb shelter. And I thought to myself, I don't hear sirens, I don't hear rockets, we will be okay. We had armed Capitol Police with us. Surely they would get us out safely. And we waited and waited, and suddenly I heard a pop outside the chamber door. I later realized that pop was the gun being shot at the woman climbing through the broken window to get into the lobby outside the House chamber. And finally, after an agonizing amount of time, one officer shouted that he was going to open the door, that we all needed to run as quickly as possible down 4 flights of stairs to the basement and take the tunnel to the building where we would be taken to a safe room. We all followed his directions. We ran down 4 flights of stairs. We made our way to the safe room, where we joined the others who had been evacuated from the House chamber. We waited for about 4 hours until leadership came in to talk to us about what had happened. The speaker told us that as soon as the Capitol Police regained control of the Capitol, we would return to the House chamber and fulfill our constitutional duty to vote to certify the election. We fulfilled our duty to the American people that night. We voted to confirm the results of a free and fair presidential election, a simple but important part of our electoral process. As I think back on that night 1 year later, it's frightening to believe how close an angry mob of rioters came to disrupting the peaceful transfer of power from one president to another. It's even more disturbing that so many of my colleagues are trying to rewrite history, trying to erase the insurrection and ignore what led to that terrible night. It's equally appalling that so many of our fellow citizens continue to buy into the big lie and believe, despite all the evidence to the contrary, that the presidential election was fraudulent. I'm encouraged that our Congressional Bipartisan Committee is working so hard to investigate January 6th. I'm hopeful that they will get to the bottom of what led to the terrible event and that those who should bear responsibility will be held to account for their actions. When the truth is told, I hope all Americans will listen and understand how terribly wrong the insurrection was. Only after we face the facts will we be able to move forward as a nation, learn how to prevent that kind of misinformation and violence in the future, and rebuild the trust and faith we need to work together and build a stronger, more vibrant country with opportunity for all.